Today's talk is called How Often Do You Pray? So, if you pray less than once a day, raise your hand. If you pray once a day, raise your hand. How about twice a day? How about 5 times a day? 10 times a day? How about 20 times a day? Because I average about 20 times a day, but to be completely transparent, there are days in which I pray 50 times or more. Because you can't ever pray too much when your mind is driving you crazy, right? Your mind starts driving you crazy, and then you try and go and do something. And whatever it is you're doing, because you feel rushed, because you feel there's a timeline, because you feel there's a deadline, you got to get it done. How often does that thing not work out and you wind up doing it anyway? Because what we embody, we are impressing upon the actions that we are taking. This is why prayer is just so important. As often as we can do it, steeping ourselves in the prayer, in these teachings, is what allows our lives to blossom. My life is exploding with miraculousness. And am I saying to take action, don't take any actions except for prayer? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if you take action when your mind's not in the right place, you know things go awry. If your heart's not in the right place, things go awry. If your soul and your beingness is not in the right place, things go awry. So prayer has to come first, because who we are being absolutely impacts the effectiveness of what it is we are doing. And we want to be effective doers, right? We want to get out there and do what it is that is effective. And sometimes we feel rushed and pushed, but we got to put a halt on that. Do not allow yourself to get rushed and pushed. Allow yourself to fall into prayer first. Then you get to take action that will actually be effective. Folks are astounded constantly by how much I get done in a little bit of time. And that's because I never take action until I have embodied. You will not see me go about doing anything until I've gotten my head, body, mind, my embodiment in the right place. Because I have spent way too much time in my life spinning my wheels to continue living that way. I'm guessing that's true for you too. You don't want to spend time spinning your wheels just to make it look like you're doing something. So you got to really dig in, especially when others are pressuring you to get something done, to know that first things first. Prayer comes first. As often as you have to do it, get into when you can do prayer. You know, when I got divorced, actually before I get into my divorce, I want to make sure that I have, where is that here? Oh, there it is. Okay. I used to be very late for my appointments. I used to miss deadlines, like all the time. And then I fell into the prayer of time is on my side. And I would repeat that over and over and over and over until I felt it. And after about 2 years, this is not something that happened instantly, I realized that I was never late for an appointment and I always met my deadlines. I hadn't actually worked at changing how I behaved in the world. The only thing I worked at was embodying that time is on my side. And then it was. And the change was miraculous. So that's one prayer that I have taken in and delved into and continue to delve into to make sure. And now I'm looking at how my life is unfolded, and it is folded perfectly with time being on my side. My highest and best has shown up time and time and time again. You know, when I got divorced, now I get to the divorce part of the talk. When I got divorced, I was devastated and moved into a cabin in the woods. And I got into the prayer my life works magnificently. And I would say it every day is with tears in my eyes, with devastation flowing through my veins. I kept up my prayer of knowing that my life works magnificently. And it wasn't a change that happened overnight. But what did happen is I moved out of the woods. I got invited to Cincinnati to help out with a center there. I met the most magnificent woman who has become my wife. I started a center, a virtual center that reaches over 50 countries and about 2,000 people a week. And just recently, I got hired as the senior minister for a center not 10 minutes from my home, from where I live now. This is an unfoldment that has happened. Now, there have been many times along the way that I could have been derailed if I followed the crazy chatter that goes on in my head. Now, I have to tell you that after 20 years of steeping myself in Science of Mind teachings, in steeping myself in Science of Mind's way of affirmative prayer, which we call treatment, by steeping myself in this, my chatter is not near as bad as it used to be and not near as often. But it still exists. It hasn't gone away. And so having the habit, the power that I have embodied in myself of praying as often as I need to, 20, 50, 100 times, whatever, but that my default is to go to prayer, has made the biggest difference that I could have ever imagined in my life. You are never alone. No one is alone that believes that they have the divine power within them. We all carry the Christ consciousness. It is up to us to awaken it, and we awaken it through prayer. And I know that many of you know this, but even those of us that know it can forget it when things get tough. We can easily fall into rushing, into thinking that whatever obstacle or circumstance that's going on needs to be handled instantly, and it never does. Prayer is always first. Because from prayer, whatever you do next will be more effective, will be more powerful, will be more from having the results that you want to see in your life. Prayer is the most powerful tool you have because it awakens the Christ consciousness within you. It awakens the divine power within you. And from that place, not only are you not alone, but you have the power of the universe behind the actions you then take. Awaken this power. Be the magnificent being you have come here to be so that you can do the magnificent things you have come here to do, and your life will be miraculous. Thank you. I love you.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.